78 Fight News here. The Prince of Boxing, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus the current middleweight king, Sergio Martinez. It's been a long time coming for this fight, but it looks like it's finally about to happen September 15th. Now, first before I go into my prediction, let me go into Chavez Jr. versus Andy Lee. I thought in the first 2 rounds, Andy Lee clearly outboxed Chavez Jr. And he was having his way with Chavez Jr. But Chavez Jr. has a gift. And his gift is being able to sucker his opponent, who may be far more skilled than him. He has the ability to sucker them into fighting his fight. Okay? This man, I watched this man in the 5th round use a Jedi mind trick on Andy Lee. Andy Lee's outboxing Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr. stands in the middle of the ring, starts pumping his fists, making faces at Andy Lee. Next thing you know, Andy Lee's off his game plan, and he in there trying to brawl with a brawler. Okay? So, Andy Lee got what he deserved. 7th round knockout for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Now, there's been much said about Julio Cesar Chavez's weight. You know, I went over this before in another video when Chavez Jr. skipped out on the drug test. I think that was in Texas also. And in this fight with Andy Lee, apparently Andy Lee's camp wanted to weigh the gloves of Chavez Jr. to make sure that they were regulation, and they got refused. They got turned down. So it's always something going on with Chavez Jr. camp and Freddie Roach's camp. It's always something different. Now, Chavez Jr. in that fight with Andy Lee also complained of leg cramps. I just think that's kind of ironic, man. Manny Pacquiao with his leg cramps, Chavez Jr. with his leg cramps, whatever. I'm not going to speculate, you know, it's a waste of time anyway. So, Sergio Martinez, I got to admit, I haven't been impressed with Sergio Martinez. I haven't been that impressed with Sergio. He can fight, yes. You know, Sergio Martinez can box, but I haven't been impressed with his last couple of opponents, and he seemed to have come on in the end of these last couple of fights. But I think that if he has a dull fight against Chavez Jr., Sergio Martinez fucking around and get knocked out. Straight up. Sergio Martinez is a far more skilled, a far superior boxer than Chavez Jr. But that doesn't mean anything, because once you get in that ring with a guy who's probably going to be about 20 pounds heavier than you, maybe. You never really know, because Sergio himself, you know, comes in a little heavy also. So, they might be around the same weight. But you never know what's going to happen with a guy like Chavez Jr., who has the power of the Jedi mind tricks. Somehow this guy is able to convince superior fighters to fight his fight. And I have a strange feeling that when he gets in the ring with Sergio Martinez, he's going to convince Sergio to fight his fight. If Sergio gets up in there and tries to mix it up with Chavez Jr., thinking he's going to knock this guy out, he's going to get discouraged, and he's going to fuck around and get upset. Now, I don't know, you know, this is just my opinion, but I feel that if Sergio sticks to the game plan and outboxes Chavez Jr., he can win easily. He can easily outbox Chavez Jr. If he stands in there with the bigger man trying to fight toe-to-toe, Chavez Jr. is probably going to have his way with Sergio Martinez. You know, it's time to put up or shut up for these two fighters. Chavez Jr., this is your chance to beat Sergio Martinez and step into the big leagues. After you win this fight, you can move up to 168, and we can see how your career progresses from there. You know, how you do with those guys. Sergio Martinez, this is your opportunity. You've been crying about getting a big fight. You're finally going to get it against Chavez Jr. You got to be convincing in defeating him. If you're not convincing, if you win a controversial decision or any of that, I'm not giving you no props. That's my 2 cents. 78 Fight News. Holla.